Hi, and welcome to the first video on tidy text mining. These videos will cover the first two chapters of the book that's produced by Julia Silge and David Robinson on text mining. I will show you a link to that in just a minute, but the book is available for free online at www.tidytextmining.com. We will start with librarying in the packages that we need. The learning objectives of this section will be to remove stop words and identify frequently used words in a text, to compare word counts between different groups of texts, to analyze sentiment as it changes through a text, and to graph word clouds. So for this first section, we will be covering out of this book, we will be covering from chapter 1. We will be covering sections 1.1 through 1.3. So a good way to learn this material is both to get the material that's on the GitHub account, as well as to read through the sections in the book that correspond to what the lecture is. First off, the tidy text format is going to have a table with one token per row, where a token is some sort of meaningful unit of text. Could be a word, it could be like a 2 gram, which means 2 words in a row, or a sentence or a paragraph. This will compare to other text mining tools that use things like strings, corpus, or document term matrices. So there are different types of structures that different text mining packages use. So to start with, let me just show you this text. So I'm just going to enter sort of some arbitrary text here. So this is just a bunch of different strings. And if I look at text, it tells me basically I've got a vector of 18 items, each of which contains a string. And now if I convert this to a tibble, I can do this by putting line numbers in. I don't have to do that, but I can make the line numbers. So I can make line numbers to be 1 to the length. So I have the line number. And then I have the text variable to be the text that was in that line number. Now once I have this in a tibble, I can then, I'll take my text data frame and I will use the command unnest tokens. And what I want to unnest out of that data frame, I want to unnest it by word. And the variable that I want to unnest is the variable called text. Oops, but I misspelled unnest. So let's redo that. And instead of unnext, let's make it unnest and see if that works. There we go. So what I've basically done is convert what we had here. Right, so line 1 has if, you, and forget, and me. Right, so that's made it 4 different lines. So I now have a line for each word. And you'll notice, though, that things like the capitals are gone. Right, everything is lowercase. Now let's look for a minute at what stop words are, because some of these I don't really care about. Right, so let's look at stop words. And I see that there's a lot of words that can be eliminated. And these are what are in the various lexicons. And you'll see it gives me a lexicon name and then what are the stop words. So the way I get rid of these is I could take my data frame that I had. And now what I'm going to do is I am going to unnest the tokens, but then I will do anti-join, which is a command from dplyr It basically says if it's not in both lists, then you don't keep it. So so let's see what we get when we do this. When we do this, we get I can now do the word count. I've anti-joined, and then I've counted the words that are left. So I can see what words are left. I have 26 words that are left in this set of text that were not stop words. Okay. We will pick up in video 2 by looking at all of Jane Austen's works. We'll get a larger body of work to do the same sort of thing with, now that we have played with it in a smaller context of something that we can actually see and get our hands on.